if we start really from the foundations and the fundamentals, what simply does purpose mean to you? And then how does it really relate in a strategy context?
Okay. Well, for us, purpose is a kind of an overarching layer above strategy, which gives direction to and informs strategy, culture, and brand of a company effectively. I think a really important part about what you asked is how do we define purpose, or what do we consider purpose to be? And for me, purpose is a framework. So a purpose framework for us includes a definition or articulation of what the shared belief is in a company. So that kind of why or North Star piece is often known as, but also the vision, the mission, and the values. So those things, I believe, should come together to form a clear narrative, which we can consider the purpose of the organization.
So is there any kind of practical kind of suggestions you'd have just off the cuff to not go down that PR marketing route?
Yeah.
And have it really, really authentic?
Yeah, well, the first we've kind of touched on, which is take the approach of clarifying, not creating. So
yes.
In the process of clarifying purpose, turn up the volume, give everyone in the organization at least the opportunity to have a voice, make sure customer voice is represented, make sure that, to your point, you get as wide a lens as you can across any stakeholder that's important to your company, and look for a stimulus both within your industry and out with your industry. So that's the first thing. The second thing is then what's done with it afterwards. So, often previous, historical approaches would be some sort of poster or manifesto, or, at the most creative, maybe a desktop background or something like that.
Yeah, we've seen a few of those.
Exactly. So there's a few things I would say. One, yes, it's important to have shareable assets. You want to get the actual narrative out and front of mind and in people's hands, but do that in a way that is instilling symbolism in things that your people in your company, employees, maybe customers will actually use. So, for example, we did some work with Dimmocks, and they got elements of their purpose articulated on bookmarks and book bags, tote bags, and stuff like that. So things that people actually value, actually use, and doesn't mean that you need to write all the statements on that. Give some thought to how creatively you're going to bring the purpose to life on those things. That's one, but it also shouldn't stop there. It should also then, your purpose should be codified and used to inform your layers of strategic decision making. So, whatever strategic model you use, 3 to 5 year strategic plan, annual strategic review, any strategic decisions that need to be made in the organization, it's important that purpose is codified and used in that process and represented as a criteria in strategic decision making, so that the actions of the organization actually start to reflect what the purpose says. And that's probably the most critical bit long term, to turn words into action. Ultimately the PR piece is words, but that's just the start of the journey.